Long before Central Georgia was developed, right up the road, the tiny town of Old Clinton served as the county seat in Jones County. Now, it might sound familiar because they have a Civil War reenactment every year, the Old Clinton War Days.
As Suzanne Lawler shows us tonight, life looked very different over 100 years ago, but one piece of history withstood the test of time. That's why Clinton Methodist is truly a sacred space.
Not many people live in Clinton now. There's about 4 or 5 old antebellum homes that were there during the Civil War.
And this. Charlie Roberts began worshiping at Clinton Methodist Church more than 40 years ago.
It was built in 1821 before the Civil War. Sometimes I think I'm 100 years too late. I'd have left to live in those days.
Well, the church looks much like it did back then. Charlie says these pews are original.
The story we hear is that Sherman's troops used them to feed horses.
So Clinton was the frontier of the United States in that period of time.
Cliff Bowen is a cemetery guy. He loves history. And to really understand the significance of this church and this property and its place in the past, you have to visit the grave sites. Even these granite outcroppings are significant.
Most of it was done by a slave named Jacob P. Hutchins. He would take and drive chisels into these huge granite outcroppings and drive wooden pegs into the holes that they created and soak them with water to fracture the stone. This is the grave of Margaret Laney Califf. Margaret was better known as Maggie, and she taught black children in her home and then in multiple schools throughout the county. There's approximately 28 Confederate soldiers buried in this church cemetery.
In the early 1800s, the church was a center of the community. People pulled in on Sunday mornings, riding high in their shiny horse and buggies.
Because to them, going to church was a way to show off what you had and to show that you cared. It's like washing and polishing your car.
These cedar trees, ferns, and periwinkle stay green year-round, representing eternal life. As for Charlie, well, life doesn't go in reverse.
I can't do nothing about it.
But he can show up every Sunday to the space where his forefathers worshipped, and time hasn't damaged the spirit of the past. Suzanne Lawler, 13 WMAZ News.
We have a lot of extra interviews, video, and pictures to share with you on the Clinton Church. Just head to our website and look for this story.